Hello, and welcome to my talk on how to redesign your life to live as a digital nomad solopreneur. Today's talk is about having a sustainable business that you can run while working from anywhere, which is my goal. And I think it's a lot of people's goals because in 2020, there was a New York Times article in 2021 that said in 2020, 10.9 million Americans declared that they were working as digital nomads, which really just meant people who work remotely and travel from place to place. Who am I, by the way? I am Daniela and I am the founder of Coffee Break MBA, which is a course coaching and community with ongoing live weekly small group coaching for creative solopreneurs looking to launch or grow online businesses. Let's go into the major tips, and then I'm going to talk about designing your life so that you can sustain your business while you travel. Number one, if you have an existing business, let your clients know that you're going to be in a different country away, right? Definitely let your clients know that you cannot attend in-person meetings, and obviously don't run a business that requires your physical presence, which is becoming fewer and fewer businesses because of the way the world is going. Have backup internet at all times, right? So have a backup plan, something I failed to do in Italy, something I failed to realize because I took for granted the level of internet connectivity we have in Canada and in many parts of the world. Get an internet stick or anything you need to do to make sure that you have a plan if internet fails, because for digital nomads, you need a laptop and you need an internet signal, right? Cellular data was my backup, but of course it's very expensive. Claire says there are now eSIM cards for being away. No need to buy a local SIM. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I did notice that. That's fantastic tip. Yeah, excellent tip. Of course, the traveler's tip was always buy a local SIM card to save on the international cell phone roaming fees. But yes, there are eSIM cards now. That's true. Set up autoresponders to, if you're traveling through the desert in Morocco and you're not going to have internet for a day, make sure you use autoresponders and set up automatic emails to let your clients know when you can get back to them. You can hire a virtual assistant anywhere in the world. Obviously, that is a way that you can help have someone to fully answer your clients' questions if you're in the middle of the desert in Morocco, right? So you can have a VA for a relatively affordable price, and you don't necessarily need a VA, but it has changed the way that I'm able to live my life. So I recommend getting a VA when you can afford it. Be prepared before you go. Stay updated on the policies, the tax and residence and immigration policies of the country or countries you will be going to. Check the updated Canadian tax laws, get your accountant on board, or talk to a tax or immigration lawyer if you need to, depending on the time you're going to be away. Do a pre-check of what co-working spaces are available or how internet works in the country you're going to. Make sure your healthcare needs are that you have a plan, you have health insurance, or that the country you're going to will allow you to be seen for free or in an affordable way if you have an emergency. Check out discount travel sites. I can't stress enough how much money you can save just by doing the research. If you need to evacuate a country quickly, what's your plan? Do you need a work visa? If so, what are all of that? Just do all that research. Do you need a foreign phone number? I mean, Skype gives you a foreign phone number really easily anywhere in the world, and it's not expensive. So you can look at options like that if you need to. So be prepared is number 5. It's a big category. Part of being prepared is making sure your tech is up to date. So my laptop is now 5 years old. So if I was going to do an extended stay in Italy again, I'll probably buy a new laptop before I leave, because you don't want it dying in the middle of where you can't easily replace it for a fee that's not crazy pants. So yeah, so being prepared also means having your tech prepared. Make sure you have a working phone. That could be one that you get locally there, but a working phone and a working laptop. Oh yes, international charging cables. Fantastic advice. I forgot about that. That's under the big category of being prepared. Look at alternative housing options. Someone just told me about trusted house sitters, where you can get free to low rent in many parts of the world for pet sitting and taking care of people's plants and pets. Trusted house sitters. Sometimes people have goats, and that's not a joke. That's really a thing. I was doing my extended stay in New York City because New York City is of course, my favorite place. Is one of the most expensive places on earth. And I was there for 4 weeks last time, and I found a company called Urban Furnished. Now, don't get too excited because my rent was still $10,000 a month Canadian, but that was half the price of staying in a hotel. But yeah, investigate those kinds of lower cost housing options. What you'll find in many parts of the world is that rent is a lot cheaper. If you're coming from Toronto, New York, Vancouver, Los Angeles, you're going to go, oh, this is like a fraction. You can breathe again, but you might have to maintain, your rent in Toronto too. So number 7, investigate the co-working spaces available. Co-working spaces such as WeWork, Spaces, Staples. There's many, many more, but I love WeWork. WeWork is phenomenal in terms of the kinds of spaces they have and the facilities they have and the number of cities they're in. So I have an international WeWork membership that costs me about 400 Canadian a month, and I can walk into any WeWork anywhere in the world with that and do my work with a solid internet signal and telephone booths where I can do private Zooms. And if I want to upgrade and get a private office, I can do that with my membership. There's unlimited coffee and nitro brew and like cold coffee as well, and kombucha. I just love it. You'll see me post pictures from all over the world. Italy, not so great for co-working spaces yet. Hopefully that will change in future. Number 8 is set up your business systems. Make sure your business systems are in place so that you don't need to put out any fires from far away, that you've set everything up and that you have your money-making machine ready, or at least started before you leave the country. Okay, and we'll talk more in depth about that, but make sure that's set up so that you're not setting it up from overseas, although it is also possible to do that, but you probably don't want to take any chances with revenue. Like, you need to have sort of a baseline expectation of what you can earn while being away. Number 9 is travel lightly. I was so guilty of not traveling lightly for most of my life. I always had, more clothing than I needed. A director once told me she did this closet challenge where you put everything you wear into one small closet. And so it's a major culling of things you don't really wear. It's like the Marie Kondo method of, does this spark joy? If not, so learn to live more minimally. It will serve you so well when you're traveling. And most of you who travel know this, but if you don't, it was one of the things that it took me a long time to learn. So I particularly love traveling with a carry-on piece of luggage, which is harder if you're going on a multi-month or even a multi-week journey. But as much as possible, I try to live out of a carry-on. And if I absolutely can't, fine, but put air tags in your bags because things get lost more than ever these days. But still, you don't want to be lugging around a heavy suitcase if you're traveling around Italy. As someone who did that in her 20s, it was not ideal because you're going to be on trains, buses, walking over cobblestone streets. So try to travel as lightly as possible. The thing that changed my life is packing cubes. If you've never used packing cubes, you can condense large amounts of clothing into small cubes, and they sell for between $15 and $45, and you can really pack a lot more clothing into a carry-on using packing cubes. And travel lightly also means I think you need a ring light. So I think the basic things you need is a clip-on mic, which is very light, proper microphone, an iPhone, because an iPhone, you can record video very beautifully and even sound very beautifully, even if you don't have a microphone. So you need an iPhone, you need a laptop. I always suggest Apple, but you need some kind of a laptop to run your business on, and you need a light. And if you don't want to lug around a big ring light, there are smaller solutions. So yeah, I don't usually bring my full ring light, and listen, they're under $100. So you can always buy one locally and then sell it or give it away if you're in one place for a long time. So you need to make sure you include that in your packing. Obviously, I didn't pack my ring light in my carry-on suitcase plan, but I packed everything else into my personal items on the plane, because you can always bring another personal item on the plane. So travel lightly. And number 10 is commit to a schedule. Like, give yourself time to enjoy your stay in the other countries, but also make sure that you give yourself a schedule, because it's so easy to fall off. I have many students and peers inside Coffee Break MBA who have ADHD, and basically they need the regimen of, they need they need to have tasks put, into like, okay, on this day, you're going to do this for this many hours. And I get it. And I can be guilty of that too, even without ADHD. If I'm enjoying a place and I get distracted by food and dating and traveling and going through remote places, I could potentially forget about a meeting that I have to attend online. So make sure you commit to specific times and days to work. And listen, like, yes, I know Tim Ferriss committed to 4 hours a week in the 4-hour work week. For me, I've got it down to 12 hours. I'm fine with 12 hours. Eventually, maybe I'll learn how to make it even fewer hours, but I have to schedule those 10 hours wherever I am in the world. Otherwise, I have the possibility of letting down my students and my customers, my clients, right? So definitely commit to a schedule no matter where you are in the world. I'm comfortable with doing this. Once I'm consistently at 30K a month, I'm comfortable with jumping and going to another country for a much longer period of time. But you got to ask yourself, what is my comfort level? What is the amount that I will feel comfortable, maintaining my ties to Canada? I don't want to lose my pension. I'm okay with losing my healthcare. So you lose your healthcare if you're out of the country for more than 183 days in Canada. So I can live with that if I'm making 30,000 a month. For me, that's my line. Everyone's going to have a different line. So it is a redesign of your life, because most of us do not live like this. Like, I had a forced redesign of my life when I started my online business, but incorporating this idea of traveling abroad and working abroad is going to force me to continue to redesign it, which is fun. It's not something that scares me, but I'm more conservative about it. I want to be earning more of a baseline than probably most people. I think many people jump at it even when they're making 10K a month, which I say more power to you. I'm just a little bit more, I play it safe a little bit more than most people. So the way to do that is you got to start your business before you leave, I think. I mean, I know that that's my happy place. If you are in that place, that's what Coffee Break MBA is for. It is one of the most affordable and most efficient ways of getting small group coaching as you start an online business. And I also do one-on-one coaching. I have one-on-one coaching packages as well on top of Coffee Break, but the better prices on that are available to my existing community inside Coffee Break. So there's that. If you want to know, because every single business is different. There's no one size fits all. For some people, it's about building a YouTube channel. For some people, it's increasing their Instagram presence, like in terms of and some people need all the traffic up front, and some businesses don't. They just need to start. Some businesses, but there are some commonalities that every single person needs to run an online business. And that is, you got to have a way to collect payments internationally. And you got to have a way to sell your stuff, whether that's a website or sales pages or both. And what I use, obviously, because I'm always about it, is SamCart to run my international payments, to run my sales pages, because they give you an unlimited amount of sales pages, which is just the page that you use to sell each of the products you have. For me, my product is my online courses. I have 16 different sales pages on SamCart, but I could have thousands if I wanted to. You just need one, by the way. You just need to start with one. And if you want to, like most of my teachers in digital marketing started with one product that they grew to multiple millions of dollars before they started introducing other products. I'm just, a multi-potentialite, and I try multiple things at once, and I have multiple things going at once. That's just me. It's not necessarily best practices. It's just me. Not only just me, but some people do believe in diversification. But anyway, I use a SamCart for my sales pages, and I use it to host my courses because they do that now. And so it's super efficient, effective, cost-effective. I am a SamCart affiliate. There is on my YouTube channel a commercial for SamCart, which is on the only video in my YouTube Shorts currently, where I'm screaming on top of a rooftop in Tuscany, saying I can work wherever the hell I want to now because of SamCart, which is a true story. So if you check out that commercial, that's all about my work selling SamCart to other people, but also the way that they saved my life. I'm constantly doing videos about it. The idea is that you need a way to process payments efficiently from any country in the world, or most countries in the world. You need a way to sell your product online, and it could be a physical product. It could be a digital product. I'm using product very loosely here. You need a laptop, a light, a mic. You need an internet connection, and you got to have a way to communicate. Like Zoom is a great way to communicate with people on video. Some marketing training, which again, you could learn on your own. You could spend money with a lot of different people, and you can decide the level of money you want to spend and the people you want to study with. I'm one of the people that can help you. You got to find the people that you're comfortable with, that you resonate with, or you could do it on your own. It just takes longer. That's all. That is the difference. The overhead is so low for online business owners, which is why I keep reiterating so often in my social media that everybody should at least try to do this, because it's available to us. It's available to everybody. You no longer need to go to business school for many years to learn how to make six figures from home or from wherever you want to be. You can do this quite handily in a place like Coffee Break, or with another coach who will train you how to do this. Or you can also figure it out yourself. Listen, I did get really high level training. I spent something like $10,000 in marketing training in 2019, not knowing that just because I was super interested in it, not knowing that the world was going to be on fire 1 year later, right? So I had all this knowledge that I didn't know if I was going to ever use. One thing I learned over the past 2 years is my people have found me. And so the people inside Coffee Break were multi-potentialites. We are creatives. This is like we have a rotating roster of 50 people. It's always about 50 people. It's been that way since the beginning, which is awesome. And they're all artists, and usually in multiple disciplines. And there's a lot of people who do travel or want to travel, which is why I'm starting to investigate this more and more, because they're like me. So when you start a business, or when you put yourself out there online, your people find you. Okay. So to redesign your life, to recap, investigate, think about where you want to be, investigate the practical realities, set up your business system first, decide what business you want to be in. That's all inside the Coffee Break MBA program. If you have no idea, you can start just by going through the early exercises. I hope that these kinds of conversations, and even just thinking about it, inspires you if it is something you want to do. It does involve, I say, design your life for reasons of empowerment, because sometimes we think we're living in this machine of, I have to get a job to pay rent in a fixed address. Like we have been, this has been beaten into us for so many decades that we don't consider that there are multiple ways to live your life. And I'm not saying that's better or worse. It's an option. There's always options. So I hope that just even having these conversations and thoughts just opens up the world for you a little bit, if you've never thought about it, or if you have, just think about the concrete steps you can take to get there. Part of sometimes people ask me about like the secret to success, and everyone's going to define success differently, but I honestly think you have to see it. So either you see it because someone else has done it, or you can see it and believe it even without seeing that someone else has done it, because there's always the person who did it first, right? And there's always that visionary who did it first. There's millions of examples of people who redesign their life to become digital nomads, and many other things. And I hope that you can see it and you can take the steps to do it if you want to, or at least you can acknowledge that there is more than one way to live life, that we're not bound to a system that was defined by capitalism. And I understand it's a big machine, etc. We can use capitalism to our own advantage as business owners. There's so many people on this call who are doing such incredible things with their lives, and I just say congratulations to all of you. Keep on going.